Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome to Ferret Face Fail Productions. So today we're out in Haystack OHV area near, it's going to be Roswell, New Mexico. So this is a fun little area that we go out to ride during the winter. And honestly, it's a cool little area to get away to. They got some great camping spots, so come check them out. But today, y'all are here to definitely hear about why GasGas sucks. Let's start on a little background of the GasGas name, because really that's kind of what it's become these days, and it's really sad. So GasGas once was a very proud Spanish enduro platform. Over the years they've had lots of different stuff, from some 4-stroke models to 2-strokes, but by far they've always been known for their 2-strokes. And then in recent years, KTM decided to acquire the GasGas name and basically threw everything that was GasGas in the trash. As we all know, Big Bad KTM has been acquiring brands for a long time, and generally when they acquire something, they don't want the brand, they don't want what they have to offer, they want the name and they want to dominate the market. And that's one reason I really despise KTM. I'm not saying that KTMs are necessarily even bad bikes, or they don't make a good product, or they don't pioneer a lot of stuff in the industry. Well, when you have lots of money, you can do those things. What I really hate about KTM is acquiring these small companies, small names, and then just destroying everything that they were. Lots of brands and small brands in the dirt bike market create uniqueness, and they create ingenuity that is not often seen in the mainstream of bikes. So, I think the GasGas that it is now is just not something that I would ever look at buying, because why would you buy a GasGas named KTM when you can just buy the KTM or Husky? GasGas sadly has been turned into pretty much a budget brand, sub-brand of KTM. More or less the same frames, same engines, and I think in some cases they use the last year's or last generation's parts / suspension on their bikes. And why? That's so upsetting, because GasGas was a premium Spanish-made enduro for so many years, and not to mention beloved by pretty much everybody who owned the real GasGas bikes. Now, GasGas was acquired simply because they have struggled in sales. Of course, there's a lot of competition in the market. It's very hard to stay afloat. And ultimately, I think as GasGas started to make a little bit of a comeback in the 2018-19 era with their enduros, it was too lucrative for them to essentially sell out to KTM. And there's even some stuff of the factory workers in Spain basically hanging a doll outside of one of the windows as KTM execs came to work a deal or something. And they were very against it because they've seen what happened to other factories once KTM has bought them. And once again, it was the same thing that happened to them. They got pretty much immediately dumped. KTM did not want any of the intellectual property for the engineering that GasGas already had. They didn't want the factory. They didn't want anything. So that is incredibly disappointing. Why they do these things? It's all about money. I understand that. But it gets even worse because now KTM is moving even more manufacturing to China, which they already had a fair bit, if we're being honest. Everyone does. But, of course, a lot of friends and people in the industry here like to say, oh, well, KTMs are Austrian bikes. Well, a lot of their parts are still made in China, and then more of them are. KTM's used Longsin Chinese engines in some of their bigger bikes for a long time. So it was writing on the wall for me, and this is the whole reason why I just have never been a huge KTM person. And that may be funny to some of you because I have sold and I do rent GPX Moto, which is exclusively Chinese. But, there's no lies when it comes to GPX, and you're also not paying a premium for the KTM name with GPX Moto. GPX Moto is a quality-made bike that's manufactured in China, that's imported by a U.S. company that really has stood by the bikes quite well, in my opinion. And they've been very reliable bikes. We've had several in our rental fleets. I think we've bought 5 or 6 of them now and had really good luck. So those are good bikes, and you're not forking out, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000. So you get a lot of value for your money with GPX Moto. But back to GasGas, I think the biggest disappointment is that, if KTM was going to acquire them and use their own platform, I would have loved to have seen KTM go to essentially a GasGas that was the premium brand, maybe up there next to the Husky as far as all the latest tech, best suspension, everything else. To see GasGas come in as just sort of like budget lineup for KTM stuff was just really disappointing, especially as somebody who we've owned GasGases as well as the Rieju. On that note, let's go ahead and talk about Rieju. So, when the factory was left and everything else was up in the air, a Spanish motorcycle company that already manufactured or had some capability to manufacture bikes and mopeds over in Spain and Europe, Rieju, they went ahead and acquired all the IP and platform and factory for the old GasGas models that were being produced in the 2019 era of things. Rieju did great things of rebranding the bike, kind of updating the aesthetics, and then putting some money into the platform to address some of the problems that the GasGas bikes have. And there are no bikes that are made that are perfect. Any bikes can have problems, but a lot of people knew that there were some starter issues with the GasGas platform, a little bit older engine technology, and Rieju put a ton of money into trying to solve the starter problem. And I think they've pretty much done it. I see the occasional complaint about the issues with the newer models, but our 2022 has been phenomenal. We have an MR Pro, and really the price point for that bike is absolutely awesome. It is a premium bike for $10,500. There's no really denying that. You're getting a 300cc two-stroke with full custom KYB DLC coated forks, rear KYB shock. You're also getting X-Trig triple clamps. You're getting a lot of really good stuff for the money, a few $1,000s less than the other competition. And that 300 two-stroke is every bit as potent as the KTMs and Huskies. Now, sure, there's probably not as much top end as the new TBIs, but a lot of people are also anti-fuel injection, so this gives you a really good option for a carbureted two-stroke that has great bang for the buck. And now that platform is so solidified, there's aftermarket parts, there's really good support for it, you can get pretty much anything you want out of the Rieju line of bikes. So I'm so glad that Rieju has continued to support this platform, has continued to make it. There's just, that makes my little heart real happy. And of course, in this video, that's what I'm riding. My favorite bike that we have here, and it's also a rental with our shop, is the Rieju. We do our best to kind of put these bikes in good light, but we also ride them and test them out, make sure that they don't have huge problems. This bike has been rented many times and never had any significant failures of any kind. In fact, I'm pretty sure the top end's going in at probably right around between 150 and 200 hours now. So trail riding, we can usually go a little bit longer on our top ends. That's our choice. I know some people don't agree with that, but it's a kind of a testament to how reliable these are. I've got a piston from a 2012 GasGas sitting here on the counter in my shop that probably had 300 to 400 hours on it before it got changed out. So, these are great engines. Now, some will complain, hey, the Rieju doesn't have a counterbalanced motor. Oh, God. I think the GasGas's engine is actually naturally balanced better. We have a 2019 X-Trainer, which is also not counterbalanced from Beta. And the X-Trainer's vibration and everything else is far more imbalanced and far more vibration-y than the Rieju is. In fact, the Rieju, I'm kind of surprised it's not counterbalanced. It's a pretty smooth motor for what it is. And at the end of the day, a two-stroke's a two-stroke. I think once you're riding it on the trail, I don't ever notice pretty much any of them really being that bad. Sure, Mark's newer Beta's a little bit smoother, but I don't know. I think that's just an excuse. And, at the end of the day, if you have $13,000, $14,000 to go buy a brand new Husky or a KTM, and you want the top of the line, latest and greatest, you want the fuel injection, then you know what? That's your money to spend. I'm here to kind of look at the smaller brands and the things that are a better budget option, so for $10,500 or less, because Rieju's MR Racing is even less money. I think they're right around $9,000. Still has a KYB suspension, still has really good stuff on it, and the money that you save there for your average rider, and your, I guess, quality of experience and getting out there and doing single track, doing hard trails, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck with something like a Riehu than you are a new KTM or Husky or even the new GasGas. Because we've had a few customers come in here and, talking up, oh yeah, I'm going to go buy a new GasGas and that's such a great bike and we love, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's just a KTM. And people kind of look at me like they didn't know that, which is surprising to me. I get a little frustrated because GasGas, in my opinion, had a very good name in the enduro side of the world. They were unique, very cool, boutique almost bikes. You don't see them very often. You still don't see very many Riehus. But they are phenomenal for the money. I think the biggest stopping point I think a lot of people have for getting something like the Spanish Enduro is parts availability and support in the United States and having dealers. Now, that is, if you're all about your local dealers and everything else, I can understand that. But at the end of the day, a two-stroke is a two-stroke. The Riehu is no different to work on than a KTM or a Beta or whatever else. And in fact, our local shops here will work on the Riehu no problem. Parts, we have parts availability in the United States with Central Power Sports Direct. They're the importer for Riehu. Mark Berg is the owner of CPD Direct, and he used to be a dealership, and he knows these bikes. He stocks this stuff. The availability of being able to get things that majorly break is very easy. You'll get it in a few days, and there you go. Like, there's not a lot of excuses. And not to mention, we even had some other things that I were missing in the crate that had no issues getting for the bike. I've also been very impressed with P-Tech support. P-Tech's got skid plates. We got full wrap skid plates. We got radiator guards on it. We've got side case covers from P-Tech on there, radiator guard, front and rear disc guards, brake disc guards. So there's a ton of accessories, and I feel like the excuses that people make for not wanting to buy something other than like a KTM or GasGas, KTM platform, let's just say, is, they want the mainstream, they want to be cool, they want to look like their other friends. And that's really sad, because I think support for these smaller companies, there needs to be more of us willing to support these small companies to keep them going, because they aren't bad bikes. And I think oftentimes people get too vested in the reviews. And here's what I mean. We're not all professional riders. We're not all, Cody Webb or whoever else out there, right? I don't even know who races for KTM. I don't really follow that world a whole lot. But my point is there are so few of us that are in that, let's just say top 5% of riders that need the absolute best of custom suspensions and absolute every penny's worth of horsepower and everything else. Most of us that ride, we are casual trail riders. Maybe we come out on weekends, we get a few days a month to ride, and we want a good quality bike with good suspension that is affordable. And so many reviewers discount that, the Riehu's older, it's a little bit heavier, and the engine's from the 1980s. They act like it's not good. They act like there's some sort of issue, and it's not the latest and greatest because maybe it doesn't fully compare to a TBI. But what we don't take into consideration is that, if you buy an MR Racing from Riehu, it's damn near $5,000 less. That's a poop ton of money. In fact, for $5,000 less, you could buy one of my electric dirt bikes and have an ultimate lightweight single track weapon, So there's a lot of controversy, in my opinion, that people get too wrapped around these reviews, then they don't support these small companies. These small companies can't support updating their platforms every year, like Beta and KTM and everything else. The competition is too steep, so they really rely on kind of loyalty. But is the loyalty misplaced by us here because we like Riehu and because we like the old platform, or even other companies like SDWM who have continued on the Husky stuff? I think the answer to that is no, it's not misplaced. In fact, I was very apprehensive buying the Riehu simply because, should I just buy the Husky? Should I just buy the Beta, right? Because I'm kind of a Beta guy. But I'm so glad I did, because the bike is built really well. It looks unique. It stands out. Not to mention, it's been extremely reliable. You know, we've had some bikes in here as rentals that don't fare very well, or they end up broken pretty much every time they come out. We have to stop renting them. That has not been the case with Riehu. It is a very straightforward, easy to get to, everything. Even the carburetor, for example, on the Riehu, you turn it sideways, you can pop the jets in and out, very easy. Nothing's really even in the way. I can rejet it real quick. Gas tank comes off. The frame and everything is easy to work on if I had to do a top end. Yeah, there's a lot of things that make the bike really good, and there's just so little information out there. And I've tried to put some videos out. My channel's not the biggest. But, you know, that's my huge thing with my point of this video is to get people to understand, look at some of these smaller brands that are out there. Not all of them are just Chinese junk. People haven't heard of Riehu, so maybe they do assume it's Chinese. I don't know. I call it the Spanish Queen. I want that to kind of catch on because, you know, we got the Italian Princess, which is the Betas, the Spanish Queen, which I consider the Riehu, so that's just kind of my joke here at the shop. And, you know, I think if you haven't taken a look at these guys, take a look at them. You know, and we know some local dealers around here. In fact, we can probably get some bikes in ourselves. I'd be happy to work out a deal for a Riehu because I want to support these guys and keep them from going under. I think Riehu's got some plans in the future for updating the engine. I'm sure they're probably looking at more power and changing around the starter and some other things, counterbalancing. So there's a lot of good stuff to come for Riehu, I think, in the near future. But they also need our support as riders. We all go out there and buy the KTM and Husky. You know, why not look at something like a TM? Why not look at Riehu? Or, hell, you know what? I even kind of lumped GPX in there a little bit because GPX is also a good value. But I'll digress off that one because a lot of people will hate on me. And if you really dislike China-made stuff, now that KTM with their entire lineup's going to be offloading jobs and production, putting stuff together in China, then, you know, this is a good option too. This is a factory still in Spain. Now, I have no doubt they use Chinese parts. Everyone has to because you can't make any money if you don't find ways to cut cost, which is a sad fact. But look at it this way. You're supporting a, you know, importer. It's been around in the industry for many, many years, and you're supporting a Spanish company that actually still has all of their operations and production in Spain. So KTM can't say that anymore. They're not all Austrian, and they've gone full global. We've Indian stuff, Chinese stuff, and that's just where they're at now. So I absolutely hate what KTM has done with GasGas. GasGas now sucks to me because if I were going to buy a KTM platform, why would I buy the budget option? Why would I want the red plastics that say GasGas when I know that I'm essentially getting swindled for not top-of-the-line items? Now, sure, people are looking to save money, but at those price points, why not go for something like the actual real GasGas platform through Riehu? You know, that's what it is to me, and that's who I am as a person. I will always support the little guy over these giant companies. And, you know, we never win doing that stuff, but I am who I am, and I love these smaller brands and companies. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed my rant. You know, this video had a lot of fun making it, and I wanted to get some people out there and talking about Riehu. But I really appreciate you, my audience. Y'all are kind of a close-knit people. I love everybody who subscribes and comes to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you all in the next one. Ferret Face out.